And we are live.
Yo.
The Watchers Podcast. WATCHERZ. Episode 59.
Oh, wasn't a hard ER?
Not this year. It's 2024.
Oh, damn.
The hard ER was 2023. Damn. This year we're going to be the
lowercase ER.
The W.
You said episode 59?
Episode 59.
Cuarenta y nueve. Spanish is forever.
I'm still learning.
What y'all want to talk about this week? Well, actually, before we go to that, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's,
Hey.
everyone.
First one.
We're back.
And a lot went down.
Hope everybody had a good holiday
Yeah,
season.
it was pretty decent. Can't complain.
And a Happy New Year.
Yeah, I was on crutches.
You was on crutches.
Partied too hard, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing a swerve Strickland and got a bone spur. That's got to come out, I think.
Okay. That's what happens when you swerve too hard.
I know. I can't swerve when I drive.
You swerve when you drive.
It was the wrong swerve. No, wrong drive.
So yeah, between now and last time we here, I can't even tell you everything that happened. I know some stuff that recently happened
They don't know who
that
we
we'll
are.
talk about. Huh?
They don't know who we are. We didn't introduce
We're the
ourselves.
Watchers Podcast. We're collective.
All right.
Oh, we
We're
don't
no
even
longer.
we don't even have individual names.
We're
folks.
no longer individuals.
We're one unit. We're an amalgamation.
We ain't did this about almost 3 weeks, so we a little rough.
But yeah.
I don't have
So I'll start at the opposite end this time. Go ahead,
Okay.
Julie.
All right. Smitty Green Giant on Instagram.
formerly known as.
Formerly known as The Damaging. I might bring that back, though, this year.
And the man having the technical difficulties with the in-ear headset. Tiger Helly 19, Snapchats and IGZs, Facebook government, Jason Williams, follow the stripes.
And I am Tavon Tri-State _tip on Instagram.
Ooh.
I gotta hide my feet. I got my toes out tonight.
Again?
I gotta hide them.
Again?
Yeah, you see them on the camera. Everybody looking. Don't scroll back.
I needed his toes that 1 week. I was trying to get my hat off the floor. I was like, Tavon, pick it up with your toes.
Oh, that was funny.
All right. So yeah, before we get into anything, I want to try for next week. Let's try to do our top 10s of 2023 or top list of 2023, particularly movies. You guys don't really watch too much TV shows like I do. There's some TV shows I kind of want to give some praise to. I think TV did pretty good in 2023.
Some of it has been good.
But we could at least do top movies, and then I think we can do some top wrestling, maybe either your top wrestlers of the year, top matches.
CM Punk.
And we'll play it by ear, see if anything else we got top list for, but definitely top movies of the year. So get your list prepared.
I will have it.
Oh, I'm ready.
And this is for you two, Corey and Brian.
I don't even know.
Make sure y'all come prepared.
I don't
next
even
week.
think Brian's going to be on assignment for the next couple weeks.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hopefully he'll be back.
We're gonna start getting him. We're gonna start doing him remote. We're like via satellite.
Via satellite.
Brian's in this trailer. He's like, hey.
All right. So yeah, what y'all want to start with? What happened?
Let's
Talk about bullshit.
We ain't
football.
talk about what we missed. What happened? So playoffs is about to start. Last day of the season today. Playoff picture is shaping out. We still got one game left to help determine some seeding, but
Yeah, who's gonna win the AFC East?
that's getting
tonight.
determined.
That's right now.
That's
Okay.
right now, right?
Yeah.
so Ravens look like they're top. Well, they are definitely top of the AFC.
Yeah,
so
number
they'll
one.
get there by 49ers. Shameless plug. NFC will be getting their week, their first week by.
Get some much needed rest.
What's the deal? So is Cowboys number 2 in the NFC now?
Yeah, by default.
And now The Eagles dropped to 3.
Nah, they dropped.
No,
5.
Lions are 3.
Ooh.
We dropped to number 5.
Lions really had a good record?
Lions are 3. And then
Wow, y'all 4?
and then technically, what's the name? 4, right? Because they won their division, Buccaneers.
Buccaneers, yeah. So
Because
we
even
dropped-
right, even though
Y'all
Hey, I'm ready. I ain't in the mood to hear your shit. I ain't in the mood.
Oh, baby.
I'm not in the mood to hear
How
anybody.
have the mighty have
I
fallen?
do not want to hear nobody's shit tonight.
Damn.
Yeah,
And then y'all out here, y'all did that performance against the Giants today to drop to number 5?
Yeah, we fucked.
What the hell?
We are in some serious trouble. Monday's a Mayday game. I mean, it's Brandon Graham's last game. I mean,
So who are y'all playing?
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers all
Buccaneers. Do you have the playoff picture out right now? How do you, can you find out who's playing who? And
I know the Buccaneers is playing us Monday. I know. Let's see. Bear with me. I have an Android.
Hey,
And it's
that's
slow
the
as
best in technology.
I know, but my phone needs to be updated right now. All right, let's see.
don't get beat by the iPhone, man.
Nah, I'm not fucking with the iPhone right now. Okay, I'm trying to find the scheduling now. Let's
Man, if
see.
you don't pick it up before me.
Okay, all right. Well, some of these are to be determined right now.
What are you using? What are you doing? Are you typing NFL playoff?
I just typed in the NFL school.
All right. Well, let's go on to the AFC real quick. So,
Damn it! I'll just say this: the Eagles ain't going.
we all knew that.
Yeah.
We all knew that after y'all lost today.
Man, kiss my ass.
But, all right, let's see here. We got AFC.
Damn,
Number
and we
one
was
is
the number 8.
Ravens, Dolphins, Chiefs, Texans, Browns, Bills, Steelers. NFC, we got 49ers, Cowboys, Lions, Buccaneers, Eagles, Rams, Packers.
That's wild.
They've been in the playoffs 17 straight seasons, man.
Have they? The pack.
Yep.
You know who I am secretly rooting for in the AFC?
Who?
The Texans. I want that boy to win.
I don't.
Are you just hating because it's AFC, or are you just hating because you don't like him?
I don't dislike him. It's just I don't want to see somebody that came in after Joe Burrow get one before Joe. That's really my beef with a lot of the AFC teams outside of my division, which everybody in my division is going except for us.
I hate
Yeah,
football.
nah. Young black quarterback. I'm rooting for him.
I ain't worried about it.
He's got a good backstory to him.
Yeah.
I mean, the coach.
Is that the one with the father? Who got the father?
Yeah, that's him.
That's him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna root for him.
Yeah.
I'm not an AFC. I don't care about anybody else in the AFC, but I'll root for him.
I'm rocking with my white quarterback.
Whites only.
Nah, I ain't say all that. Hey,
The W in Washington.
first,
Being a real big W this year in 2024.
first of all, I feel like Joe Burrow been to a couple cookouts, so
Yeah.
he claimed
You know
Louisiana.
You know what's crazy though? This has been a year of like the backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like us, Jake Browning shocked me. I didn't think he was going to do as good as he did. Could have did better and got us into the playoffs, but hey, he did what he could. That's pretty much all their tryouts though, to be starters on some other team eventually. Whenever they're
Joe Flacco came from the.
oh yeah, that's crazy.
He didn't
I
sit
didn't know
on
he
the
still
lawn
played football.
chair, and he done came in and got the Browns in. So it's been a weird ass year with football. Period. Though, man.
Yeah.
All right. Anything? What? Nothing really basketball related happened.
Well, I guess Draymond's coming back.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think he just was able to go
Oh,
back
his
into the facility.
Yeah, his suspension's over with. They're gonna bring him back next week.
They said that for sure?
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
yeah, that happened. Let's see what else, real quick. Francis Ngannou.
The Browns are in the playoffs?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm going back to. I'm
No,
rereading this now. I'm looking at
Yeah, I
it.
said my whole division. Browns in my
Browns
division,
in the playoffs?
Steelers in my division, Ravens in my division.
So right now, it's looking like next weekend we got Browns and Texans playing. We got, depending on the end of this game, Steelers, Dolphins, or Bills playing the Chiefs. The Steelers in the playoffs?
Yep.
They in my division, bro.
Yeah, they all
Every
got
team in my division went except for us.
Yep.
And we were only a game out.
Damn.
We was about to send the whole division to the playoffs. That'd be wild.
Damn. So
Crazy.
yeah, this game right here is kind of deciding
It's
like
like
3 or 4
determining the
games
last
right
game.
now. Yeah. But the only thing for sure is Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Lions, Eagles, Buccaneers.
Yeah, you can scratch the Eagles off. You ain't going to see shit. Man.
Yeah, y'all could beat the Buccaneers.
Man, we ain't.
Yeah, I think the Bucks only scored 9 points against the Panthers.
Man,
Yeah,
we couldn't even
today.
score nothing on the damn Giants today.
And Texas and Browns. Okay. Well, we'll see next week. So,
Shout outs to Carl, the bartender.
what?
He's a Buccaneers fan, an actual one though.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, you know Carl. Yeah, Carl Buccaneer,
he is.
hardcore
I did not
Buccaneers
know
fan.
Carl was a
Yeah,
Bucks fan.
You're a Buck fan.
Okay.
Side note, random fact about my division. With us winning today, we finished over 500, and it's been the first time in 90 years that a complete division, every team in that division finished over 500, and we were the bottom. So,
That's crazy.
keep telling people, AFC North, hardest division in football. Period.
I think
Period.
Sorry.
I mean, we ran through the NFC West. And
Y'all did. Y'all
we
did.
ran.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Y'all had the NFC West's number.
You know what the crazy part
But you
was?
know who else did? Who else had the NFC East number? The Cardinals. So it didn't.
That
really
was
matter.
crazy.
I know.
Like-
Like I said, this
That was crazy.
Weird ass year.
Yeah, they ran through.
It's a weird ass year.
That was crazy.
So, all right, let's get off football.
Francis Ngannou is fighting Anthony
Joshua. So that's official.
Yep.
Mine as well, because it ain't gonna be what's his face.
Joshua had a fight. Wilder had a fight, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the year or some shit like that.
Yeah, they were supposed to
Wilder
fight in March.
lost?
Yeah, Wilder got beat up, so they left Joshua on the outside looking in.
Because they were talking about fighting each other at some point.
Nobody
I'm
wants to see
assuming.
that now.
Yeah.
This is where I think
I'm
boxing.
assuming if both of them won, it would have been them.
And this
Yeah.
is dumb. I mean, honestly, I'm not knocking the guy for beating up Wilder, but y'all just cost yourselves even more money by doing this stuff. They should have had them two guys should have fought years ago.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but it's also the fighters, right? They're
Yeah.
strategically. It took a lot of balls for what's the boy from Texas that lost to what was the big fight last year?
Was it
Oh, you're not talking about Triple G, don't worry.
No.
Two black guys,
Oh, Crawford and
Crawford and Spence.
Spence.
It took a lot of balls for them to do that.
Yep.
Like, hey, we're both in our prime. We both getting money. We both belt holders. Let's go ahead and do it. Not wait until one of them took a loss and fight. 5 years later, one's slightly out of their prime and yada yada yada. They took it on the chin in their primes, and now it could be argued like, hey, maybe Spence ain't who he was prior to accidents and such and such, but he was still a 3-belt holder,
Yep.
right? So I give them two credit. It's gonna be hard because now we got the boy from Baltimore.
Ryan Davis called out. What's the name? Somebody, I forgot who it was.
We got Shakur Stevenson. We got a couple of names in boxing that are looking like they're in their prime, hitting their prime, or at that sweet spot where if we get these fights on, these are going to be big box office fights. But at the same token, who wants to take that L, right? Because after that fight happens, now are we going to want to see Spence fight whoever else next? I don't know. Maybe we don't want to see Spence fight. We want to see Crawford fight now.
Right.
We want to see who can stop Crawford. We don't want to see who can stop Spence. We know that question. Right.
There's a one-sided ass whooping there, and I think it's going to be another one-sided ass whooping.
So now, don't get me wrong. I'll pay to see Crawford, Mexican boy with the red hair. That's the fight.
Canelo.
That's the fight to me. That's like, woo. That'd be a big money fight. I don't know where they're at with weight classes, but I know they flirted with that idea as far as what's going to be a big fight to come up for them two. But then they both said each other's name. So either way, I'm okay with Ngannou fighting Joshua.
I ain't mad at him. I get your money.
I think he got a puncher's chance of beating Joshua.
I mean, he already beat Gypsy King.
Yeah, technically. I won't say technically, but yeah.
Joshua's got a funnier jaw. I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. I think he got a better chance of definitively beating Joshua than because what's the Gypsy King real name?
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury is smart enough to know how not to lose, and know not even though he got connected. I don't think he was expecting him to throw like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
but when he realized that, he kind of respected him a little bit more.
Felt that power,
right? And so he's been fighting Wilder. He fought Wilder 3 or 4 times, so he can handle big punches like that. But Joshua, he get connected. I think he going right to bed. We might as well get to bed.
He gonna be counting sheep if he catches
the covers and pillows out and everything.
And I think Ngannou's power a little different than Wilder's is.
Yeah,
Wilder a little skinnier than Ngannou's.
Yeah,
that would have been a better fight.
He a whole
they
bull.
both unorganized fighters, and just let them swing and just.
Yeah, people would pay to watch that for sure, just to see who get it first. Like Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
That'd be the first street fight in a boxing match.
But anything else sports that I'm missing? We'll see with Draymond. Speaking of suspensions, Ja Morant came back.
Yeah.
You know what?
He looked good.
He is looking good.
He balling.
And I'm like, God damn. And I'm trying to be like, is he really that much of a difference for that team? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, God damn it, he might be.
Yeah.
He looked good.
Might just be enough to make sure that they
stay above
are
water.
Playoff contenders.
They may be a 7th or 8th seed.
Yeah, they're still to me a player or two away from really making noise and being a threat. I'm okay with Desmond Bain. I'm okay with the big dude they got, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
It's just something about the team. It's a gritty team, but it's just also maybe I'm not afraid of
the moment.
Their shooting ability. Something is when I look at them, I'm looking at the other, like, can they beat Nuggets? Probably not. Can they beat the Lakers 7 times? Probably not.
They may beat the Suns,
but
because the way how
the Suns is just some. But you see, and Suns are just too top heavy. They got 3 scorers and nobody really can guard anybody. And it is
what it is.
That's a dangerous thing to play when you try to bank on bank top heavy like that. You kind of have to have a full-fledged team nowadays. And yeah. We'll see if they can turn it around. We're not at the halfway mark yet, but it's they only played a handful of games together.
Maybe 4 or 5 games. I think.
I don't even think it's that much.
Because
I think the first game they end up playing together, I think one of them rolled their ankle. Yeah, Bradley Bill rolled his ankle.
Like first 10 minutes of the game.
His first game back had me hollering. He had did something.
Kevin Durant.
He had dunked or something.
Durant gonna ask for a trade.
His celebration, he was like, that's something. I was like, damn, Josh.
You talking about Ja Morant? Yeah. He unconsciously
reverted the old ways.
Did the gun hand, and they was like, oh man, he still ain't learned.
Nah, he damn sure did.
Yeah, I hope for the best for him.
Yeah,
I hope for the best for him. I do think they are a better team with him, and he is actually surprising me with how well he's been playing. Maybe I just haven't been watching him lately, but for somebody his size to be able to attack the rim, and if he develops, he can shoot outside, but he's not a great outside shooter. If he develops better outside shooting, he's going to be a hard player to stop.
Yeah, he's already hard enough now.
Yeah,
explosive.
Yeah, handful now. So.
He's going to be a hard player to stop.
I think he's more of an athletic Allen Iverson.
He's an explosive jumper, Allen Iverson. Yeah, I can see that.
Did he just? I tell you, that's the king. That's the king of turnovers right there. Brett Favre Jr.
Josh Allen.
He stay fumbling the ball, man. So
Anything else sports that I'm missing that happened? I don't think anything else basketball happened.
Not yet. Not that I can think of.
it's time for me to switch over to hockey.
Did that Draymond suspension happen when we was here last? Or was that
It was.
after?
I think it started. I think he. Nah, I'm
I
not.
don't even think we talked to no.
Nah, I don't know.
I thought we did talk about Draymond.
We
but
did,
was that
but
about
it
something
was
different?
something different.
To the Googles.
Okay. Either way.
Just in
Either
general.
way.
In general. Damn it, Draymond, stay out of damn trouble.
I'm interested to see his return. I'm interested to see.
If he punching another
But see,
teammate.
y'all also said that he signed the contract. I gotta look into some stuff before I talk about this.
That's what my question is
This
gonna be.
this Draymond thing is
Is this the year they cut ties?
Well, he signed a 4-year deal.
and so that we did talk about it, and because I think you brought that up last
Yeah,
time,
you
and I was asking about what is his value to other teams. Is he valuable to other teams as he is valuable to the Warriors, or is he uniquely
We did
valuable
have that
to the Warriors?
conversation. We might have started talking about it.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see
What they do.
how the rest of the season plays out for Draymond.
Well, as a resident Warrior fan, I said we cut bait. It's time.
I think he still holds value to you guys.
If you don't punch his team.
But is well, we see what Jordan Poole's out there doing now.
However,
Nah, he deserves to get punched.
his antics, I think, also
Outweigh his talent.
hurts you guys
Yeah.
at the same token.
Yeah, it gets to the fine line, like
He
like
said
how
this-
Rodman used to be, but Rodman wasn't this bad. Rodman would get into some stuff, but I feel like Rodman wasn't consistently
to me,
getting
I think
into
he cost y'all that
a skirmish.
72.
yeah, that
that
with the-
season.
well, I think that suspension was low key bullshit, but
Yeah,
well.
he cost them that series. Y'all should have won that.
but the thing is with Draymond, his basketball intelligence is like second to none. I mean, he's literally y'all point guard, even though he doesn't have to.
it was only gonna help you if you're on the court.
I know, but that's the thing. That's where your whole issue is with him. I mean, he.
Chris Paul broke his hand. Did y'all see that?
No,
Yeah,
Did he?
yeah.
Broke his hand. I think he's gonna have to have surgery.
he always get hurt. That's why I don't even know why we got him. He get hurt.
He was
He usually
going-
waits till the playoffs to get hurt, but
And so I had hopes for the Warriors coming into the season.
They cooked.
Right now, I think they cooked. I think they cooked. And I'm like, damn. I
If
want.
the playoffs was to start today, they get swept.
They're at a weird position right now because Steph Curry is still valuable. He still can give you an MVP like
He's
season.
still playing the league.
But
His
damn it,
supporting cast ain't.
I be watching some of them games and they'll double team him in the last couple seconds because they know ain't nobody else gonna do shit else on that team. And I don't know how you y'all should have went and got Bill. I think the Warriors would have been better.
I'm hearing Pascal Siakam. They're trying to get.
Getting Bradley Bill would have been a good look for the Warriors.
they need a second option, like a strong, solid.
Yeah, I think they
Second
were still
option.
sold on Clay, and Clay's cooked.
I think Clayton
Clay
lost
more than
Clayton
Cook.
lost his he lost his smile. Like
Oh, nah, he went to the barbershop.
Clayton lost his smile.
And if y'all were going to play three guards in the lineup, I think y'all were better off with Bradley Bill. At least, I mean, yeah, he stayed injured, but I don't know.
Clay went right through the barbershop one day.
Pascal Siakam is interesting. Does that mean y'all replacing Draymond?
No, it was just a good ball handler.
No, you got to get rid of Draymond if you're getting Pascal. I would, if I can make that trade, I'll make it.
I'll do it.
But I don't think the Raptors are making that trade without getting some draft compensation with Draymond.
Could you see Draymond in Canada?
But it is what it is. He from Michigan or went to school.
He will be fighting every night,
It's close enough.
especially they're known for that in Toronto.
All right. So let's talk about the biggest news of the week.
The Epstein list? No, I'm kidding.
This is out there.
Ugh.
So Katt Williams went on Shannon Sharp's show
And chose violence.
I have not watched the whole thing yet.
and
I've
aired his
watched parts.
grievances against the people who he felt said something wrong to him. I don't know where to start with this podcast or with his remarks or his commentary or what he had to say, but
he had a lot to say.
I will say, for the most part, I believe him. Not everything, because some of the stuff he was saying about his past was a little far-fetched. But outside of that, as far as what he was saying about some other people.
Oh, what stuff, though? What's the far-fetched stuff?
Talking about he read like 3,000 books in one year.
You know what's crazy about him that people don't know? He's a genius. He's a genius.
I'm not doubting that he is smart.
I believe he did that shit.
He was saying he was reading books at like full-fledged books at 3 years old and reading thousands of books. The math don't math for.
Because the stuff that I was reading about the science school that he was accepted to and went to and all.
That's hard to get.
Wow. And then that he fast. Yo, when he came out and said he run a sub 40, yo, and they had the man timing him, I was like,
so again, I don't doubt that he's probably smarter than most.
Katt Williams a damn superhero. Let's just say he a damn superhero.
But some of it was a little. He didn't have to say it. He could have just left it like I used to read a lot of books.
Yeah,
and said left it at that. For you to say like 3,000 in 1 year, okay, all right, yeah.
If he did, he did. I ain't knocking it, but
all right, it's just the time he was saying. He was doing this at 3 to 7 years old.
Reading is fundamental.
That was the only part. But outside of that, that was my only gripe. Everything else he was talking about,
I believe
he seemed to legitimately believe, and he had evidence to support.
The thing that's getting me, the thing is, nobody's saying he's lying. I mean, that's the bigger thing is nobody's. I mean, if they were saying he was saying,
it depends on what camp you're following.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, just in general, if they were saying that what he was saying wasn't true, you can hit him with a libel suit for slander and all that other stuff. Nobody said anything.
Because I would have came straight out, yo, my man lying. It's a whole lie. He lied.
I mean, the fact that they haven't said anything is.
So, Cedric Entertainer, one of the people he said something about, he accused him of stealing his joke.
Yeah, the spaceship joke, right?
Right.
And he stole a joke from Designing Women.
But he didn't talk about that part. But somebody else brought that up and showed the exhibit. For Designing Women, he took it word for word.
Almost, he changed like
two cents.
The name and
from A to N, but it was the exact same joke. For Katt Williams used the joke saying a car. He used the joke saying I'm being a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
The principle and the hit of the joke was all the same.
Yeah, he was sitting in the seat and every damn thing.
Yeah,
backed up and he had the cigarette in his hand.
And so
he blatantly stole his shit,
man. Cedric Entertainer goes on and says, "I didn't steal that joke. I had been doing that joke for 6 to 7 years prior to Katt Williams even." Or something like that. He said he had that joke for about 6 or 7 years, I think, prior to the Kings of Comedy or something like that. And he don't know what Katt talking about, blah, 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 blah. To me, the burden of proof now is on Cedric the Entertainer. If you've been doing that joke for that long, prove to me you did that joke somewhere.
Somewhere.
Record it, something, or somebody that can say, oh, yeah, he used to do that. Somebody else got to vouch for something. For me, Katt Williams right now has the proof. It's on video of him doing the joke said year before Cedric the Entertainer, and then Cedric Entertainer doing it.
He gave
after
you
him.
the date and the date and the whole 9 yards of when
so
he did it.
now it's on. To me, it's on Cedric Entertainer to prove he had that joke prior to Katt Williams. With that being said, he also went at Steve Harvey.
He fried up Steve Harvey.
He cooked Harvey something.
He fried up Steve Harvey, and he's not wrong about what he said.
Nope. And Steve Harvey has been a very.
I saw the video of him frying Steve Harvey in Detroit.
Yeah, when he said the battle that they had.
Yeah, they got it. Somebody video recorded on their phone back there. It's all grainy.
He fried him.
But he was going on.
He talked about his tie. He got up there. He was like,
going on
a wonderful comedian, but I'm about to get at him. I was like, yo.
But yes, he did still. Go ahead.
But what he was saying about Steve Harvey, you did pretty much emulate Mark Curry's whole presentation. And I like Mark Curry. I think he's real good at stand up. He's funny. And I grew up watching Hang with Mr. Cooper on TGIF. One of my favorite shows. And you pretty much stole his whole swag for Steve Harvey. You were a burnt out musician who returns back to his former school to become a teacher in a music program. Mark Curry's Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
He was a basketball.
You're an ex-basketball player, or you got cut from the Warriors, something like that. And you're coming back to be a phys ed teacher at a high school. I don't know if it was your old high school, but, very similar. Even the pictures of how they're dressed and how Steve, what got me though, when he called him out about his wig, he was like,
Mr.
he had us thinking everybody, he had the freshest lineup. He was like, he has a man unit. I was done. I said, yo.
Nah, my thing was when he called him Mr. Potato.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yo, this man ain't playing.
See, and my thing is, since on the subject of Kings of Comedy, in the Kings of Comedy, and this is before anything currently going on, I've said this forever, I felt as though the funniest ones, the two real funny ones were D.L. Hughley and Bernie Mac, to me. I mean, comedy's subjective. Everybody likes something different. You might like a certain style more than another. But those were the two funny ones in there.
I think,
to me, I'm gonna break this whole thing down real quick. It ain't gonna be long. I never really found Steve Harvey to be stand-up comedy funny. Not to me. I think he's sitcom funny. He's TV show funny.
Right.
Not to say you can't be both. You can be
Right.
both. TV show and stand-up funny. But Steve, to me, was always, you have to be in a sitcom. That's your lane of funny. Same goes for Cedric the Entertainer. I never really thought his stand-up was, like, it wasn't trash, but I never was like, oh, damn, I gotta go catch that new Cedric special. Like,
yeah.
I felt like he was funnier on a sitcom or a variety show. And, that's how I've always felt about it. So once Katt was saying, I was like, yo, yeah. I feel you on that.
I just think out of that Kings
Did he
thing.
just return that point? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, he did. I just think when you watch the Kings now, even the Kings comedy is what, over 15, 20 years ago, I think. Maybe a little longer.
2000, I think.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Over 20 years.
I just think when people bring that up, the first name you think of is Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac.
He definitely stole the show.
He definitely left an impression that lasted longer for me out of that entire thing. And I thought it was all funny, but Bernie was the guy that I related to more so with his comedy, because I think it was just more in your. I think Bernie's comedy was more in your face. I mean, he was just being real. I think he was more of a realist on the stage. Steve Harvey and all them other guys, they were funny. Don't get me wrong, they funny, but I resonated more with Bernie because he was just more confrontational with it. So.
Yeah.
He parlayed a joke into a whole sitcom,
Yep.
a whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Like one joke became a TV show.
And I think
Lasted long until he got sick.
consensus is, and I would say probably just amongst the black community, just to be safe. You ask people if you had to pick who was the funniest out that group, I would bet most people would say Bernie Mac. With Bernie Mac being talked about, I do believe now, because DC Curry,
Yeah,
Don Curry,
DC Curry.
DC Curry, he came out and he said him and Bernie Mac been friends for years. They met on a set from a movie back in the 90s. I can't remember the name of the movie. And he personally had a conversation with Bernie Mac, and Bernie Mac told him that Steve Harvey and them was hating on him and that they tried to steal his role. He personally said that. This is what DC Curry said.
Yeah.
That he told me that Steve Harvey and them was hating on me.
And I think what pissed him was Bernie off with Steve Harvey is this just was being reported. I'm not saying it, but apparently, I guess the root of that thing started with Steve Harvey, I guess, trying to undercut him to get that Ocean's 11 role.
Yeah.
And he tried to sweet talk his way into it and basically saying, don't hire Bernie because he was ugly or something like that. And I guess Bernie caught wind of what he said, and I guess some words were said, and whatever it is. I mean,
because Steve Harvey's a beauty queen.
So
potato head.
with all that being said, he said some stuff with Kevin Hart. I can see his frustration with Kevin Hart because he blew up before Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart said to some degree that he was going to be the guy, right? Because when Friday After Next came out, he had a special and everything. A couple years later, he was like the black comedian, right? But you seen his career maybe not pan out the way you thought it was, or at least you would say that Kevin Hart had a better career in the long run because all the opportunities that Kevin Hart was given, or I don't say given, but all the opportunities that Kevin Hart has had since then till now, you would say Kevin Hart had the better career. I don't want to say that he's jealous of Kevin Hart, but you can see why there's a conflict between those two camps.
It's definitely tension between them.
And I think he was stating like, yeah, Kevin Hart is this now, but don't mistake it as if I couldn't have become that. I chose not to become that because of X, Y, Z. Now he went into like some Illuminati and people selling their souls and all this other stuff, and doing some funny looking
wife
doing weird stuff
that doesn't do interviews.
Which I'll leave that to everybody's own
interpretation,
right? So I can see why there's tension between them two. It's you know, I'm more Katt Williams, right? So in my head, Kevin Hart is in that Steve Harvey group, where I don't really think he's funny stand up. Now don't get me wrong, he has some funny jokes. When he first had that first special that blew up, and he was talking about the son getting hit in the head with the ball, and
he's had some moments.
He had some funny moments, but I think Kevin Hart's comedy is not 100% like his stand up is okay, but it's more of because he's a small guy and his comedic reactions, which may be taking its toll now. Nobody kind of cares to see that 100 times, right? It's funny when you're opposite The Rock and you know you're getting and yelling, but it kind of gets a little.
It's old and redundant,
right? So and
he's in my top 10. Maybe my top 5.
Don't get me wrong.
He's
my top 5.
Now, is he stand-up comedian top 5 for you, or is he just overall a funny person?
Well, this is my thing. I was introduced to Kevin Hart through stand-up. This was before he had that trash TV show on ABC. This was before anything, before he was even a name.
He was on Comic View, right?
No, this wasn't even Comic View. This was I was down in Williamsburg, Virginia. This is when I was with Crazy Amber. we were on a vacation with some other friends. Some other friends. Yeah, we could do a whole TV show, movies too, miniseries, everything. We were staying with some friends, and we were in Williamsburg. It was one of those just improv shows, just comics that you don't know, just some people you really don't know. And Kevin Hart was one of the guys, from Philly, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't a name yet. And I thought he was hilarious. I was like, yo, that dude's funny. I really hope he ends up doing something right. See, and I swear, like a couple months later, he ends up having that TV show.
Yeah,
it was terrible. The TV show was terrible.
It didn't.
It was terrible. It was called Hart's House, right?
I don't even want to know what it was called. It was terrible. It was a sitcom.
It was a sitcom.
It was terrible.
It was. I think it was supposed to take place in the West Coast, but his mother or his parents got in trouble for some shit, and he had to go somewhere.
Yeah,
and live with the people. It was another little kid about his height, even though he was younger.
Yeah. I thought it was like he had some kids.
Don't quote me. I think it was called Hart's House.
We'll look it up later, but it was terrible. It was
but
like he started. But see, that's why I talk about the brands of comedy. Like I like his story. Like he's that funny dude that's telling you stories, like retelling stories. Like, yo, man, you remember that time? Blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah.
And to me, he's in my top 10, probably top 5. But so is Katt for different reasons.
And so, Yeah, I think it's all subjective, right? You may like one person for a certain reason. You may be on this side of the camp for this reason. What I think is particularly
I think with Kevin,
fascinating about this is that I think they have the potential now to make this. I think they have the potential to make them both a lot of money out of this, if done correctly. I don't think we've had such a public beef, and not just in comedy, but in just in black culture. We haven't really had. We had Drake with a couple people, but that was like, oh, it's okay. It kind of like just subsided. This, for some reason, I don't want to say it's Biggie Tupac level, but it's enough to garner a lot of views, a lot of money,
well, it's got
a lot of attention.
Whoa.
I think whatever Kevin Hart's next podcast interview person, it should be Shannon Sharp. It's gonna get a lot of eyes on it
just
off the strength
for his rebuttal.
Yes. Now, where this goes, I don't think we've seen this.
I don't think this is done.
And there's been beef between comedians and stuff like this in the past, but to the extent of it being some of the top comedians, I don't think we've seen it. We've seen like B tier, C tier comedians not like each other, say something funny about somebody else, and and videos on World Star type shit.
You ever watch?
But
you ever see Joe Rogan confront Carlos Mencia?
And it ruined Carlos Mencia's career.
Yep.
Well, Joe Rogan got in trouble off the back of that.
Wow, so
Joe, he got dropped by his not his publicist, but his agency and all that, because Carlos Mencia was a big popular guy at that point. And Joe Rogan was, but he told flat out, bro, you took my joke. I was watching it earlier today. He was talking about he got dropped by his agent and all this other stuff happened behind that.
And so again,
no wonder he had to go to Fit
him
Factory.
and Kevin Hart is not about you stealing my joke type of deal. It's a
industry.
We were both in a position to be the it guy. He's saying that I chose not to be the it guy, and then they chose you. But the only reason you're here is because I chose not to be here.
And I think that's what's pissing him off. Really.
And so now, and Kevin Hart's response is, you had your opportunity, you fumbled it, I didn't. Grow up. And so I can see both sides of the argument, right?
I like both of them.
But I think they had the opportunity, and I don't want it to go south at any point, but they have the opportunity to, I think, make something really memorable. And I don't know what that is, because I doubt, you know what it is? I don't think Kevin Hart is going to agree to do to the extent that Katt Williams
I'll do it.
But
He's not. Nah, he ain't going to do it, but this dude just pretty much eviscerated you.
Yeah, but Kevin Hart got a lot of stuff going on too.
Exactly, and I think that's where the difference is, where he's not going to try to
That's not with his movies.
But
I mean, he getting the role, so he got that one get ready to come out on Netflix, and I might check it out. Lift. I might check it out.
That's where I was very good. That's where I was going to go.
All I'm going to say is, right now, I think Katt Williams has momentum in his favor at the moment. I think just reading off of comments, Twitter and Instagram posts,
and then some of what people are saying about him,
they're on his side, and they're going against Kevin Hart, they're going against Steve Harvey, and they're going against Cedric Entertainer right now. And if you go look on anybody's thing, they're gonna be like, "Damn, you got to say something." And so it's gonna come out that Kevin Hart is gonna have to somewhat, in some shape or form, address this. We don't really care about Cedric the Entertainer now because he's past his prime. We don't care about Steve Harvey; he's past his prime, and I do expect Steve Harvey to say something at some point. Cedric said his piece, but people are gonna be like, "Yeah, you're a fucking liar because we got you 2 times now stealing people shit." But yeah, it's interesting to see where this goes. I'm a little excited. It's a good way to start off 2024. Something that nobody was expecting to pop off like this.
And see, I'd like to see a special with both of them.
And I would too.
Kevin Hart and Wisdom.
I would.
And you
too.
say slick stuff about each other. You coming off the stage, coming on stage as a short motherfucker here.
I would.
I got an intro on them.
I would like to have, even if they don't do same shows, if he has a special and he has a special and they're not addressing each other, I'm gonna be disappointed. if Kevin Hart has a special coming out and he don't address Cat Williams in a special, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. If Cat Williams doesn't in return say something back to Kevin, and maybe it's just the pettiness in me, but I'm getting fueled by this feud right now.
I feel like Kevin's not going to have a full rebuttal.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he's going to have a full rebuttal.
I kind of want Cat Williams to keep begging him on.
Because he's the most busy one. But I feel like Katt's thing.
I think all of this started, I guess, because they lied on him about something.
No, I think wasn't Cedric on that show? Wasn't he on Shay Shay?
So I will say this in Cat Williams' defense: he did not outwardly come and attack people. He is responding to stuff that people said about him primarily on that show.
Mm-hmm.
He said Steve Harvey went on that show. Cedric the Entertainer went on that show. Ricky Smiley went on that show. And Cat Williams' name was talked about.
And can we talk about Ricky Smiley?
Yeah, we can get Ricky Smiley real quick.
He ain't funny.
So let's just get this out the way.
Besides
real quick.
Daryl.
Let's get this out the way real quick. To me, a lot of comedians have good moments, right? They have their moment where they shine a joke or something, a special, a role.
And they'll roll with it forever.
It is hard for someone to consistently be on top. Dave Chappelle. There was a comedian named Patrice O'Neal who passed away.
And
all the comedians will tell you he was top tier. Nobody will fuck with Patrice O'Neal.
He was funny as hell, man.
White comedians, black comedians.
Well, you're off subject with him.
They all give him respect.
Y'all know he was a wrestling writer, right?
Yeah, he wrote for WWE.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was a
Patrice O'Neal for some time.
He was one of the funniest people I've seen do stand-up.
He wrote for Chappelle's show. He was one of the writers on his show.
And so
R.I.P. Patrice O'Neal.
When...
I think he was one of the main writers on the Chappelle show, if I'm not mistaken.
So where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So in terms of funniness, I really only think there's a handful of guys who are
eternally funny,
that consistently funny, right? And I don't have Cedric the Entertainer on that list.
Hell no.
I don't have Ricky Smiley on that list.
Hell no. He do Lil Daryl and that's it. Lil Daryl. That's
I think Steve Harvey has found his niche of show host,
game shows,
but his stand up, because he was always older, so I never resonated with everything.
I kind of like was like with Steve Harvey is when he had Keke Palmer on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she was talking about the Kings, and he was trying to act like he didn't remember what he said on there, and then she was pulling it up saying like, "Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did."
And so I can't remember if I had to tell you a joke. If I had to tell you a joke of Steve Harvey, I couldn't tell you. Right? And I'm not trying to take away from some. I know he's done stand up before. He has had a decent show before, and he has funny moments as host. So I'm not taking it, but when it comes to stand up, which is what Katt Williams was talking about, like there are people who that's how they make their living. A stand up comedian. He's a stand up comedian who branched out into actor. And I know we're gonna talk about Lil Daryl in a second. But that was his main point, is that Steve Harvey, what was his main gripe with Steve Harvey? I know he has a gripe with Steve Harvey because of the whole Mark Curry thing. Katt Williams and Mark Curry are real close friends. Mark Curry helped Katt Williams come up with some of his jokes or refine some of his jokes coming up.
And I think a lot of his beef too was him kind of throwing shade at Bernie.
Throwing shade at Bernie, and then he said something. What did he say about? Something about, I don't do stand up no more because I got shows or some shit like that. But he was like, the only reason you don't do stand up no more is because your last stand up show was against me.
Roast you.
And I flamed you. But either way, I say all this to say that it's only a handful of comedians in my list that I can even put in a separate category, right? Wherever you feel about who your top 5 is, I'm not trying to discredit at all, but I can see the argument of what he's trying to say is people are being gifted things that they probably don't deserve, but that's the strength off of who are they associated with. Cedric the Entertainer. And that's the one that keeps popping into my head.
He was talking about their whole clique. He said there's a whole clique.
He says a whole cabal of them.
They're keeping people out because they don't want you to threaten what they got going on. I can understand both sides. And he's almost saying that Kevin Hart is that same way. Is that Kevin Hart got his little clique, and
You don't want nobody else in.
They've been trying to keep people out. And his whole thing with Kevin Hart started over Tiffany Haddish because Katt Williams was going hard at Tiffany Haddish.
Sorry if you guys think she's funny.
And Kevin Hart had to defend Tiffany Haddish by going back at
Katt Williams.
And he was saying that Katt Williams was on drugs. That's the reason why he lost his roles. And so Katt Williams was like, I never been on hard drugs. The only thing I do is weed. You ain't never seen me on hard drugs anywhere. Even now, all the times I've been arrested, I ain't never get convicted. I've been arrested, sure, but you ain't never seen me get convicted and going to prison. You ain't never seen me get arrested with hard drugs in my system. Mm-hmm. So for people to say that I lost it because of drugs, so he was addressing things people were saying about him. And this was his response. It seems that he'd been holding, because they had this show planned for over a year. Mm-hmm. Just the timetables between both parties, meaning Shannon Sharp and Katt Williams, didn't align until the end of last year for them to actually shoot the episode. So,
did you
I like that he spoke his truth, and I'm just of the mindset of I didn't think he lied.
I don't think he lied. I think he
all.
believes everything he said for sure. Now, if things are semantics, and to me the thing with Ricky Smiley is semantics. I have to go and see Ricky Smiley's episode, but from what I can tell, people are saying that he made it seem as if he was already
casted as
Money Mike. He already started filming scenes as Money Mike, and then Katt Williams just came in and took it back. And Katt Williams was supposed to be Santa, and so Katt Williams said, "I never was supposed to be Santa." Hundreds of people auditioned for Money Mike, and I got Money Mike, and that's what happened. I helped write the lines for
Ice
Money
Cube
Mike.
already spoke on it,
and Ice Cube addressed it.
He said,
and so he said yes. Originally, when we wrote all this and planned things out,
it was supposed to be a smaller part.
Ricky Smiley was originally thought of for Money Mike,
and then they said it fit Santa better. And they said they had
Katt Williams came in and stole the role.
And they said his role was small, but they kept
Katt
adding
Williams
it because he
made it a better role. So he was like, there's no way that Ricky Smiley would have been my character, because this is my character that I helped create. He wouldn't have done this. It would have been a totally different character. Which I understand his argument. Again, I think it's semantics of what I think Ricky Smiley was just trying to gloat a little bit.
Could you picture him as
that would have been I wouldn't believe that.
It wouldn't have been the same, for sure. It wouldn't have been a show stealing character like Katt Williams did.
Maybe this is seemed like Ricky Smiley was feeling himself,
and that's what it sounded like.
And he didn't really think Kevin Hart was going to come back. Well,
Katt Williams
was going to come back and was like, "Nah, this is what happened."
Yeah. So that's where I think that was more of semantics, and maybe the way it was worded shouldn't have been the way it was worded and the way it was said. But again, I agree with everything Katt Williams said, and the burden of proof is on everybody else now to come back and tell me he lied.
That's the thing. I mean, and nobody has said he lied. That's the thing that's like really sticking with me out this. I'm like, ain't nobody saying he lied. Then you got people co-signing on it, say, yeah, he did say this, and even on Ed Lover's show, he was basically saying that he had knew Bernie for years. He said they were friends on the They had known each other since they did the Who's the Man days. And he said Bernie was his man. And he said that came out of Bernie's mouth. He said that Steve was like low-key shitting on him. So that Bernie was getting tired of it, and he basically had to come check him. I mean, thank heaven they made peace. If they did before he passed away, God bless him. But it ain't a good look for him. I mean, anybody who was on that show is... Ooh, they got some explaining to do, and just be real with it, man. Don't try and sugarcoat the shit now. I mean, be real with it. Say what you got to say. So,
did you see Tiffany Haddish's response?
That was stupid as hell.
You ever see somebody try to explain something why something was wrong, but they more so explain, that's what he said. She was like, because I wasn't getting the roles for it, something.
She dug a bigger hole
what he
for
pretty
herself.
much said about you, and she kind of, in not so many words, confirmed what Katt was. She thought she was explaining why he was wrong, but more confirmed what Yeah, that's what he
That
was
thing.
saying.
Your only rebuttal is you look like Charleston White. I'm like, really? Come on.
Yeah. Well, that's how unfunny she is. You see, a real comedian would have came with a comeback. That shows you her level of funniness.
And so, Mike Epps, out of the blue, said something about Katt Williams and the way he was dressed or something. But Mike Epps later on said, "Yeah, I was hating. I said that because I was hating. I'm trying to promote my tour." And he's like, "I'm mad that he didn't say my name at the whole thing." He said that interview blowing up like wildfire. He ain't mentioned me not once. And he's like, "I'm hating. Say something bad about me or something so I can get some press." But
Mike Epps is low key funny too. I didn't think he would. And then I watched one of his stand ups. I'm like, yo, he low key funny.
He's a stupid. I don't want to say stupid in bad terms.
But yeah,
you could tell
that dumb
if
funny.
you hang out with him, something stupid gonna happen.
Yeah.
You'll laugh for no reason, like because that's just who he is.
It seems like it's always gonna be something crazy with him.
He's just gonna do something to make everybody laugh or something.
Now, do you have a top 5? Like just off the top.
Of all time, if I had to pick a list of 5, I'm going Patrice O'Neal. I'm going. Damn it! I keep getting Cedric Entertainment in my head, but Bernie Mac, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor.
Okay.
Pryor can be interchangeable with any of those numbers, but those are the top 5. And how I sort it out, I have to think about it. But those are my top 5, I would say.
Mine.
No.
Okay. All right. God, this is something I would have to say. I will think about, but off the top, Sam Kinison was one of my favorites. Wow! Yeah, he was. he was a character.
Bro, I just read about how he passed away.
Yeah.
I for all these years thought it was like a drug overdose, and then I read about how he actually passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I was watching a special on him.
Yes. Sam Kinison was one. Bernie was one. Robin Harris was one of my favorites. Let's see. Richard Pryor. Paul Mooney was another one.
Paul Mooney's he's in my top 10.
He's in mine.
I just don't know if he's in my top 5, but he's in my top 10.
He is. Then you have Martin, Eddie.
Wait,
Then George Carlin was.
we said 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
So sorry. I do have to make a change. Did I say Dave Chappelle?
No, you did not.
No.
I did not say Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, they.
Oh, damn. Somebody had to get kicked out.
I mean, you gave us a rough around.
You gave
it ain't.
Yeah.
The final copy. We ain't hitting
So
it.
Dave Chappelle is in that list. It's a fight out. I don't know who's gonna get knocked out of 5. It's probably gonna be Martin Lawrence. I think I'll have Dave Chappelle over Martin Lawrence. Yeah.
And that's all respect to some of these dudes, though, man. Bill Bellamy was funny.
I think
That was
they-
on the level then.
Yeah.
He had a story about Katt that was hilarious too.
Oh yeah,
About the rest of the diner.
Diner.
Yeah.
So who you got?
I got Dave Chappelle. I got George Carlin, and these are not in any particular
George
order.
Carlin's good. Yeah.
Dave
He's in my
Chappelle,
top
George
10.
Carlin,
Yeah, top 10.
Katt Williams. I have Kevin Hart in my just me personally stuff I'm watching, and I'm finding myself laughing hard, and then I'm probably gonna round it out just top 5. I'm gonna put Paul Mooney in there.
Okay.
But the more I think about it, I know I'll be I forgot about so and so.
Yeah.
That's me right now.
so-and-so.
I'm probably gonna have to kick out Martin Lawrence for Dave Chappelle in my top 5.
Yeah, well,
But
Robin-
in my top 10 for sure.
I think Robin Harris was the guy that was like Bernie. But he
See,
was
Bernie, I would have Bernie Mac and see.
those two attacked the crowd.
See, the more you think about it, it's
And it's, I don't know if it's like, okay, yeah, he makes me laugh, but it's also about how are they presenting their material, right?
and so about D.L. Hughley. See,
And so for them to think of something and the way they present it, or the way they choose the story tell, or the idea came about, it also plays
The
a
setup
role
for the
to me,
joke
right?
was-
Easy jokes, knock knock, who's there is funny, right? And you can do some funny jokes that way, but some people, I was just watching the Dave Chappelle's, like, I don't want to spoil it for people that did do, but some of the setup,
the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
It's just like, what's wrong with you to think about this, right? Or just the topic, right? Is what is in your head that made you think about this?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we all can remember Bernie Mac talking about the family, the nephew, and it's like it's not funny, what the but he's making it funny, right? And I think y'all gotta watch Patrice O'Neal, man.
Yeah.
He could take a normal
was
thing.
good,
He could take a normal topic
and flip it.
make it funny. He can make anything. He just be like,
His last stand up he did was pretty funny too.
watch the elephant
Elephant in the room.
Elephant in the room. That dude had me crying the whole time. But all right, we're almost at we are at our hour. So let's get off Katt Williams. I'm sure there'll be more to talk about in the future with Katt Williams.
Write your own jokes.
That's really what it comes down to, right?
And then they did in closing. They had the clip of Bernie talking about people stealing jokes, watching jokes. He was like, "Never do it." He said, "Never practice any of your jokes in an audience full of comedians because they will steal your shit."
Yeah. All right. We had some stuff go down in wrestling since we've been here last.
Ooh, where do we start?
I don't really know where to start or what you guys want to talk about. Let's give about 20 minutes to this.
Jericho.
And
hot water.
wherever you want to start, let's start.
Jericho's in hot water.
You want to start with Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
For all the wrong reasons.
Chris Jericho. So tell me exactly what happened. It's another wrestler. What's her? I don't know. I don't
It
remember.
really, that's not even really where it started. Okay. Where it really started was, it was a stupid reason how he got himself in some shit. Sometimes you gotta know when to
Shut the fuck up. And
turn your Twitter fingers off. So he was Christmas night or Christmas morning, like 4 a.m, talking about, what's the guy, Stephen P. New, who represented CM Punk and Ace Steel after Brawl Out and to deal with the shit with AEW. Well, they were talking about, everybody, they had Punk and Ace Steel have NDAs on them. The only one in the room that doesn't have an NDA on them is Ace Steel's wife. So then Jericho comes out, starts talking about blah, blah, blah. I was there. I saw everything that happened. And everybody was whatever, disgusting, blah, blah, blah. Just makes a whole bunch of claims and starts talking about, and I've never signed an NDA, and talking about he's never had to follow what they have. They have employee handbook. AEW, he hasn't had a handbook that whole time. He said he has to have to adhere to that and the NDA and all that. So that opened up the door where people start talking, NDAs, and then it came up like, does anybody have any NDAs because of you? And then that led to somebody having an allegation. Well, just bringing up Kylie Ray, and then her leaving abruptly from AEW the way she did. And the story goes that supposedly she was asked to come to his hotel room, and there were supposed to be other people there, but when she got to the hotel room, it was just him. And quote unquote, he made a pass at her, and nothing else has been disclosed about, was it physical, was any body part, nothing further. And then somebody was reporting it, saying something about it, and then all she did was heart reacted it. And then some people think that she may have an NDA where she's not allowed to say anything of what happened to get out of her contract with AEW, which she has went to other companies and left abruptly too. But she's come out and said, she's had some mental health situations, getting away from the business.
Something
and
like
trying to do
that. You got to watch that because, she was very, very, very in a bad place at one point.
But so who knows? But I feel like, and just with the NDAs in general, like, why are people not allowed to talk about some of these things? And to me, I always found it weird that why would Ace Steel and CM Punk have an NDA on them if they were, they were the ones in, quote unquote, the ones in the wrong with the situation, and they were the aggressors in the situation? Why would you make them sign an NDA versus, we just gonna tell the story what happened? But it's just a little messy right now. And Chris Jericho, the signs are up at the events. Somebody
and I'm not pointing fingers and I'm not claiming anybody to be wrong or right? But this is part of the topic that I was bringing up when we were talking about Diddy. The NDA to me is somewhat of a mission to kill. If you're forcing someone to sign an NDA, or I don't want to say forcing, but if you're making it very attractive
To sign that, then something
for
happened.
someone to sign an NDA, to me is something happened that you don't want the public to know about. And
The fact that she hearted the comment. And
it's a very slippery slope, right? It's a double-edged sword for me where I understand why somebody would do it, especially if it's attractive financially to do it. But on the other flip side, motherfuckers need to be exposed.
Oh, they said why? They said once the stories about Jericho come out, supposedly, quote unquote,
he don't have his own dark side of the ring.
And
But
I'm not saying he guilty of any. I don't know Chris Jericho from anybody else.
maybe a
They
nice
said
guy, but
he's got a history.
But-
He gets kicked out of hotels a lot. He's a problem with the hotels, and he's got a well-known history of getting kicked out of hotels, music, and shenanigans. Yet when something went down with Punk, you couldn't wait to jump on it like you.
that's my whole thing. I was kind of saying like all this started just because he's trying to be a petty ass and sign over. I mean, now I look at it like Punk leaving was just more of a show issue. This got personal really quick.
And I think
some of the things.
And I think the thing with Chris Jericho, he just wants to be latched on to anything that's going on relevant. Like, why would you even say anything about what happened in that? I was there. You weren't there. Number one, you were up the hall. Everybody knows you were not in the room.
But the time frame would have allowed him to at least capture the end of it. I think somebody was talking about from the time that his press conference happened, and he even said to Tony, like, hey, we had to call the cops. And Tony's like, what happened?
Well, when it happened, supposedly they said Jericho was hiding. That was the story. Jericho hid.
But
So
the
Jericho,
the time frame would work for him to at least have seen the tail end of what happened, like the aftermath.
yeah, but he wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
Because everybody in that room got suspended. Everybody in that room got suspended. Even the man trying to save the dog got suspended. So, and then the other, when Punk first left, though, here goes Jericho again. Oh, man, I really wanted a match with Punk before he left. Like, bro, you just want to be latched on to anything big going on right now. Anything going on, you want to be latched on to it.
No, grandstand and hot dog.
Like everything. I was in the room. I was there. Remind me of Bow Wow. We out here. Chris Jericho out here doing the Bow Wow challenge.
Again, I can't confirm or deny
fuck-
anything he's saying.
Fuck
So,
Chris Jericho.
we'll have to take it with face value, and then whatever turns out as far as his personal conduct. But
But the other side is then also you have Tony Khan, who was very vocal when Vince was going through his situation and the allegations and the money stuff and all that came out with him and the women. Tony Khan was very vocal about,
Throwing jabs at him.
and then he says that they're the safest place. Because I was listening to Corny. He's talking about, they're the safest wrestling company currently, the safest place to work. Meanwhile, you a couple months ago, weren't you just talking about you were at your own pay-per-view and you feared for your life? Which one is it? Is it the safest place or are you scared for your life? Which one is it? And then when he was directly asked about the Jericho situation, and what he does is, if you ever watch Tony Khan's stuff,
he deflects.
he does a bunch of saying nothing.
He deflects.
You say a whole bunch of nothing. Like he was deflecting. He's like, "Oh yeah, we have a committee that handles." The committee wasn't around when
No,
the
you are
allegations
no.
when that would have happened with Kylie Ray.
My thing is, you are the boss, so everything should go through you.
And he don't want to say she signed an NDA. He was like, "Oh well, it was amicable. She just asked to leave, and I granted. Like, is you could tell it's more to the story, but you're making it sound like, oh, was it some? Oh, I did her a favor and let her. No, it's probably an NDA involved, and there's probably some allegations because he was being asked directly. They said, "Has Chris Jericho ever been because this was at the scrum after. See, this where he get caught up. You gotta stop doing them scrums, bro. Them scrums will eat you up.
They booed him.
So at World's End Scrum, he was directly asked multiple times. They were like, "Has Chris Jericho ever been investigated or looked at for any allegations of?" And he goes with these roundabout answers where he doesn't answer the question that you've been asked. But
Okay. Well,
is what it is. That's why.
We'll
That's
see.
why the Jacksonville Jaguars got put out of the playoffs today.
and WWE did something very
Petty,
today.
petty. Petty.
Oh,
they
put
were
the-
so petty.
Oh, they
I
put
say,
the angle meme up.
I said, yo, they put the angle meme because
Angle meme.
So if
they were selling tickets on my birthday.
if you
Howard,
care to look on Instagram and go look at the WWE.
Did they really just
post,
fumble?
Yeah, they did.
They did the Kurt Angle meme, which has been kind of popular
I've been going
lately.
crazy.
For the Jacksonville Jaguars post about them going to the playoffs, which they are not now, and Jacksonville Jaguars is the team is Tony Khan's.
Dad's team.
Dad's team. Well, you
Dad's
might as well
team.
say he owns the team because
He has
a significant stake in that team. We'll see.
a lot of interest into the Jaguars, so he's expressed interest in the Jaguars and favoritism for the Jaguars in the past. So. But either way,
Hey, can we just talk about how they fell off?
who's that?
Jacksonville Jaguars. You know they were
They were
8-3,
they collapsed harder than us.
and then we went in there and beat them. And oh wow, that's crazy. Wow.
They stopped them.
Just punt. Why wouldn't you just punt? See, why wouldn't you just punt? I know you want to end the game, but just punt the ball.
Anything else
short field.
wrestling that we're missing? I know a bunch of stuff happened. I know a bunch of lists came out. We could save tops for the years till
Oh
next
yeah, The
week.
Rock.
Rock returned to Raw.
Yeah,
Returned to Raw.
very
Day one.
interesting.
Day one.
Has made
very interesting.
and made it pretty clear, I would say, that he's going towards Roman Reigns, towards fighting Roman Reigns. I think that's what a lot of us predicted based off of what we heard from past conversations with The Rock and how they were trying to do him and Roman, a year or two ago or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
the plans fell.
And then they said, well, Philly's coming up, so you never know. And we heard little things here and there. I would expect that's the WrestleMania fight, Rock, Roman, which I think we all. I don't want to say we all, but I'm assuming Roman will win. And then whatever Cody Roman thing will take place after that. I don't know where CM Punk falls into the whole big picture for that belt, for those belts.
This is a very interesting thing.
I think it's CM Punk Rollins, and then CM Punk may or may not become the Rollins belt, but I think at some point CM Punk is going to try to go after that other belt too, the main heavyweight belt.
I personally think they're going away from Cody versus Roman Reigns. Everybody think they're going to do. They're going away. This is confirmation to me that that's not the direction they're trying to go.
Okay.
That's not the direction. And then I was like, after that, the match that makes sense is however you got to shoehorn in, however you got to get to it, whatever you got to do. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
Dang, he dropped it. I'm sorry.
CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
I think that'd be
you
next.
have to do that before Roman Reigns retires.
Yeah.
You have to do that before CM Punk retires. That match has to happen.
I think it'll happen. I think it probably next year.
And then Punk teased it.
Sometime this year.
Punk teased it, when he came out there, and he teased it too.
So Roman still has the 2 belts, 3 belts now, or is it
One.
just 2?
Just the one now.
I thought he's still carrying 2.
Nah.
I thought they just replaced the
Oh,
one.
didn't the one that Bray had? Did he really take that to? No. I heard that was a rumor that he took it to the family, but then I heard it wasn't true.
I thought they just replaced one of the belts with a newer belt.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they got rid
I
of
think he still has 2.
He ain't there enough for us to even know what belt he had.
Yeah, I have to see when he walks out. Damn. I have to see when he walks out again. I'm interested to see how this whole thing plays out in the next year or so with him. Where's he at in terms of breaking? Was it Hulk Hogan's record? He's close to it, right?
Another year.
Yeah, I can see it.
goes
I can
down.
see it. So I would say him beating Rock next year, and then the next WrestleMania is either going to be CM Punk or
You mean
Cody.
this year?
I think Rumble.
Sorry, yeah, this year. Yeah.
I think Rumble of next year will be past Hogan.
Okay, I think he's going to hold it until next WrestleMania.
Because I think they want him to
book that CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
I think they want him to break.
know.
I think they want him to break.
I can see why. I can see. I could definitely
We
see why.
don't want to see him versus Cody again.
I can definitely see why.
I don't want to see him.
Like I said, it's an interesting situation that they in right now.
What else? Oh, well, are we still? Let's still stay on WWE. Anything
What's the
else
name of the-
WWE? Yeah.
They had a match stoppage with the guy from Imperium.
Oh
Like
yeah,
a
he
nasty,
got knocked out.
Oh yeah, he got. I saw that. It was a nasty hit.
stoppage.
I hope he's all right. Man. Scary hit. Man.
Did he throw an interception? Yo.
No signs, right? No signings. No.
Well, the return of the modern day Maharaja.
Yeah, but he's been popping up in like NXT and shit, right?
No, I don't know. That's my boy.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Like I'm an actual fan. Like I'm a Jinder Mahal fan.
Yo,
Big
he
fan.
came out with that suit jacket on. It was.
And I thought the promo that he was cutting was
good.
damn good. I feel like the part with The Rock, it got convoluted and it went a little too long. And it went longer because they had to fill in that time from the match.
The guy
Where
got
my
hurt.
man from Imperium got hurt, they cut that match short.
Gotcha.
So they were filling in time, but
Yeah, they said he even had to like go a little longer than what he was supposed to.
and I like The Rock, but sometimes his shtick gets a little
Old.
stale.
It's been doing
then-
it. He's been doing it for a while.
And then it's the whole, I'm gonna call you day one, whatever, day one. What I don't even remember. But what was the chant? The day he was calling the day one jabroni or whatever,
Yeah,
the day one whatever, douchebag, day one douchebag,
or something like that.
and then you get the crowds chant day one dude, and then you're like, it's always weird to me when you tell them to chant it, and they start doing it. I felt Jinder's portion in that was actually pretty damn good promo.
Okay. I do want to talk about some potential stuff. There's a lot of rumors of this chick named Julia from New Japan
Oh, she's good.
coming to WWE soon, but they're just kind of working on her English right now. There was rumors of Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, coming back, but those have appeared to have fallen through.
Everybody, that's a mystery that we don't know.
Yeah, but it looks like Trinity
It's coming back.
may be coming back.
And
Looks
that
like
girl
she's
and it's that one girl from NWA, the real tall blonde girl. What's her name? Camille Brickhouse. If you see her, she's a pretty tall chick, man.
okay.
I'll show you off air what she look like. She actually
So-
can wrestle though.
I would like to transition to AEW real quick, just because it talks about potential signings and whoever. A lot of it right now is favoring them to sign Mercedes Moné. I would argue AEW's women's division prior to Jade going over to WWE was probably the better women's division. Even though I don't particularly like their women's matches because they keep matching up, you know, they were siloing off the matchups. Like, hey, you guys can fight each other and you guys can fight each other. But when I looked at WWE's women, it was Rhea Ripley. What's the Mexican
Charlotte.
dudes? Charlotte, Bailey, Becky, and
Belair.
Belair. And I would put the Japanese one in there,
Oscar.
You
Asuka.
got like Liv Morgan,
Asuka. But
the next tier.
and so I'm looking at these group right here, and I don't know if I'm getting stale with them because
I think-
outside of that group, really, Bianca is the freshest face, right? So all of them been there for what, damn near 10 years, now or more. I
Yeah.
know Charlotte been there for a minute,
Ios.
right? And so I'm looking and I'm like, damn, it's getting stale over there.
I
don't
think that's
care.
why
And Rhea's the best thing that they had as far as women's in a long time. She was a new face.
And I think they know it. That's why they're being real.
And now I
aggressive.
feel like they're being real aggressive with the women's, especially with NXT. They got a lot of stuff coming through NXT right now that can be top tier talents.
Yeah, they got some. That one girl that was just fighting Rhea Monday night
And
she's
and
really.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is their response because I think they were realizing, like, you know what? even though AEW don't have it, but if they knew how to do it right, AEW could have the damn better women's division because they have the
Talent.
faces, the different personalities, younger, newer faces, right? Yeah, they sprinkle some old heads
Sky
in here
Blue.
and there, but between Sky Blue, they had Jade, they had Adam Cole's girl, they had
Britt,
Is she having issues? Then she gets she get fined.
Jamie
right,
Hayter.
Jamie Hayter. They had like all these women that can put like any of them could have been the women's champion, right? Tony Storm, Willow. All of them could have been the women's champion at any point, and I'm like, okay.
Willow.
Off subject.
Yo.
Did y'all see that Stokely?
Stokely has to
Yo,
get enough, man.
Oh,
Did y'all see Kurt Angle? Did y'all see Kurt Angle vouch for Stokely?
Yes.
Saying give him a chance. Kurt
Yo.
Angle coming to AEW. That's
Every
gonna be the
time-
best. That's what I need to see for
The
2024.
end part of that is when he introduced her. He introduced Chris Statlander. She can actually wrestle too, though, man.
Yeah, and Chris Statlander. Like I said, it's you can probably say about 7 of them where they all can be champions at any point. And they had also the younger the Julia Harts, the younger
like
group
Julia
coming
Hart.
up.
I
Right?
like her
I
too.
like Julia Hart.
And so I think WWE got ahead of it and realized it, and now
They're being
it's
real
going to be a
aggressive.
real tough competition for AEW on all fronts this year. And so I think they have to get Mercedes Moné at this point.
I
When
think
Stokely hit that Jodeci note, though,
he said, "Who yeah?" Yo, what the part that's getting
I
me?
was
The
done.
part that is gonna be is when he introduced Will Knight.
He was like, "Yeah,
"Yeah." He said, "Yeah, Will Knight." That's all you gonna
that's all
get.
you get."
I looked. I
I would've-
laughing at that.
And then when
Like,
What's name smacked him, he was like, "Yo, my mom's watching."
my mom was watching.
And you know what? He is a great
He's hilarious. He's
what they
hilarious.
call him. What they call
He's
his
a stand-up
characters.
comedian too.
Manager. He's a great manager.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of great managers, one of the lists I saw votes for 2024, who's the best non-wrestler 2023, went to Prince
Oh yeah,
Nana.
Nana.
I think held it down for 2023 as far as the non-wrestlers.
I think if he didn't start doing that dance with Swerve Strickland, I don't think he really would have gotten over.
You talking about Swerve?
Yeah,
I think it works.
I think
yes.
it enhanced what he
sure.
was doing. Swerve was already
sure.
good though.
Yeah, he was
but
already getting over.
I am confident. I keep telling you every week. And every week it shows me more and more. Swerve is getting his title shot. He's getting that heavyweight title shot.
every time I
It's
see-
happening. I got to talk to Katt when he gets here because he swears it's not happening. But every week it's a flirt about that championship title. So whatever y'all want to say,
Let's
he's the
speak of-
hottest selling merchandise with the company right now. He's getting one of the loudest pops every week. He can become the face of the company.
I like Swerve.
With him and Nana can become the face of that company.
I mean, that was just funny. I was like, yo, this dude, he can be. I like Danny Garcia. When they had the dance off in there, I was sitting there laughing. I'm like, no way, they're not going to have these two do this, man.
And if Danny Garcia is watching this, you have film footage. Mia Tavon.
Put us
doing
on the
your
gram,
dance,
man. Tag us.
Put us on the gram. Tag us.
Tiger Helly 19.
Tiger Helly 19. Tag me, bro. I follow you. Follow me back. You got film on your. We are in this man's phone. Yo, we are in this man's phone. Go ahead, release the footage.
Prince Nana would have posted me already.
Right.
You know, he be posting them dances hard, too.
Yeah.
But speaking of championships, talk about Samoa Joe is currently the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Is that what
Yeah.
they call World Heavyweight?
Yeah, I
World
think so.
Heavyweight
I
Champion.
give him a round of applause because that dude was, he done been through a lot.
Excuse me if I mess it up.
Yeah. Defeating MJF.
Yeah,
And MJF might be out for a little bit.
definitely it's up in the air about his shoulder. Definitely up in the air about where he's going to sign at. If you look at AEW's roster, he's not listed on that list.
Well, he's technically a free agent.
Correct.
now.
So I think he does need to heal up a little bit, but he also needs to make some decisions this year. So I would not be surprised if in the Royal Rumble we hear that.
But I don't know. My thing is he's got that shoulder problem, so I wouldn't invest.
So I've torn my labrum before.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the end of the world.
That's what
You can fight through it.
That's what he has, right?
It sucks, yeah. But there are people who they do get it fixed and rehab. It's not going to. When's Royal Rumble?
January. Well, about next 3 weeks.
Oh, he's not going to make that.
Next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
I think.
if he does get it fixed, it's going to be the second half of the year. It's going to take him about, I would say, 4 to 5 months, 6 months to be conservative before if he does get that surgery. But either way, some interesting decisions need to be made with some talent this year, and hopefully it's a good year for both parties. Again, I think it's best for both sides to.
The devil was revealed.
Devil has been revealed, and I kind of saw it coming.
It made the most sense.
And we talked about it when they teamed up first, and I said,
just glad it ain't Jungle Boy.
It's going to be poetic because it's going to be the reverse of what everybody thought. Everybody going to think MJF was going to betray him, but it's going to be Adam Cole.
His character, MJ, and I think this kind of sucks that he's hurt right now. Well, I think it sucks that both of them are hurt right now. Because this would have been a massive feud between them two.
Well, I think they upped the schedule on this because he got hurt. If Adam Cole didn't get hurt, I don't know if we would have seen. Because remember, they had the whole thing about the tag team titles to go through first. I think this was always the plan to have him betray him, but they had the little tag team title runs first. And I think him getting hurt sped up the timeline and said, well, what can we do with you? Well, we can do where you are the devil. It's just you don't have to actually be there. We'll have henchmen do the work for you. And bam, bam, bam. So I think that was always the plan, but they just probably sped up the timeline.
I think I really, really just started getting reinvested in MJF's character. Because they had him as more as like, he was still the asshole, but he became like a Tony Starkish dude. He became like more of like an anti-hero over there now.
I kind of just want to heal MJ's back.
I'm good with either. I'm good with either, honestly.
But I think he was trying to show everybody that he can play the face, but still be himself. And that's what kind of impressed me with it. I was like, he didn't lose none of his arrogant tendencies, but yet he was still wrestling with being the dickhead, and then
to me the biggest
being the right thing. So
disservice of MJF's AEW career is that he inadvertently got negatively impacted by the CM Punk,
and that killed his momentum.
That
honestly,
he was gonna have one of the probably best
feuds going
runs as a character in wrestling. I felt like coming back from that suspension, coming back wearing a devil mask, and whatever the case may be that he would have went with.
And him and
that Punk feud,
they had momentum going with that one.
The authenticity that it felt, mixed with just CM Punk, MJF, the names, they kind of like the faces of wrestling. Well, in AEW, CM Punk is kind of still widely respected as a top tier wrestler name, and that would have sold tickets
with Punk on
alone.
The mic, man,
that would have sold
that even better.
That sold, right? That got people watching. MJF had people watching when he did that whole tantrum, right? And that momentum from his return, it died that pay-per-view, man. And I was pissed at the way it turned out, because MJF's, I don't want to say his career took a hit, but we did not get to see this peak character that could have been forming.
Well, if he wants to finish that feud, he knows where to go. You want that feud, you know where to go.
But I just thought, I feel the same way. He was on fire with that feud, and it just fizzled out.
It's almost like Sting coming in to fight the NWO, and then it just stopped.
And then
right when it was about to jump off, it just goes, never mind, we got something else. It just kind of wouldn't be the same. It's not the same. So I don't know. But anything else wrestling before we get out of here? We're gonna grab it. We're almost at hour 30.
Nah. Godzilla's still doing
good on wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking anything else.
All right. So again, next week Ladies and gentlemen, we're
Matt
doing
Riddle,
our top
man.
list.
Matt Riddle came back.
We'll talk about him next week.
Bro.
I never really been a fan. I don't like people who are not wearing shoes.
Oh, R-Truth, though. Gee, can we just talk about R-Truth? Judgment Day is gold right now.
Yeah.
R-Truth and the Judgment Day.
For sure.
But yeah.
All right. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do our top list. Hopefully, everybody can be here. We gotta force Brian to show up, or at least give us his list all so we can read it out for him.
I'll ask him, but he's filming a lot right now.
We'll do our top 23s next week, and yeah. So, with that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Tell us your top 10s of movies, TV shows, wrestling, whatever it is that you follow or watch, and yeah. Episode 59, ladies and gentlemen.
49.
That's the Watchers Podcast. WATCHERZ.
Lowercase ER.
Lowercase ER this year. Tavon, Tri-State_tip on Instagram.
Tiger Helly 19, Snapchats, IGZs, Facebook by way of the government. Jason Williams, follow the stripes.
Smitty Green Giant on the Instagram.
And until next week, ladies and gentlemen, peace.
Don't piss off Katt Williams.